They chose her over me, even when I was paying everything. I still remember that night. The house smelled like burnt chicken. Mom had forgotten it again. Or maybe she just didn't care anymore. About me, at least. I stood in the doorway, holding grocery bags. My arms hurt. My chest hurt more. And then I heard it. She deserves it more, Mom said softly. Deserves what? I froze. Dad sighed. Emily works hard. She's struggling. Emily, my younger sister. I stepped in. Slowly. What does she deserve more than me? My voice cracked. Silence. That heavy, suffocating silence. Mom didn't even look at me. We're talking about helping her with the down payment. My heart dropped. Down payment? For a house? I blinked. Wait, what? Dad finally met my eyes. We're giving Emily $40,000. $40,000. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it hurt too much. Are you serious right now? I asked. Emily walked in right then. Perfect timing. Always. She looked at me like I was the problem. You don't understand. I have a family to think about. Family? I swallowed hard. And I don't. No answer. Of course. Because in this house, I was never the priority. Not even close. I put the groceries down harder than I should have. A milk carton tipped over. No one moved. No one helped. And that's when it hit me. I had been paying the bills for 2 years. Electricity, rent, groceries, everything. After Dad lost his job, I stepped up. I dropped my dreams, took extra shifts, slept 4 hours a night. For them, for this family. And now they were giving everything to her. Why? Because she had kids? Because she cried louder? Or because I stayed quiet too long? I walked to my room. Slowly, like every step mattered. Inside, I closed the door. And then I broke. Tears, anger, silence, all at once. My phone buzzed. It was my best friend, Chloe. You okay? She texted. I stared at the screen. Was I okay? I typed back. They're giving Emily $40,000. 3 dots appeared instantly. What? After everything you've done? Exactly. After everything. I wiped my tears, took a deep breath. Something inside me shifted. No more quiet. No more sacrifice. But I didn't know how deep this went yet. Not even close. The next morning felt different. Too quiet. Mom was cheerful. Weirdly cheerful. Good morning, honey, she said. Honey? Now, I narrowed my eyes. Morning. Dad avoided eye contact. Emily sat at the table, scrolling her phone. Smiling. I grabbed coffee. Sat down. Where's the money coming from? I asked casually. Mom hesitated. Too long. Dad cleared his throat. We've been saving. Saving? I almost laughed again. With what money? I asked. Because I've been paying everything. Emily rolled her eyes. Why are you making this a big deal? I turned to her. Slowly. Because it is a big deal. She scoffed. You're being selfish. Selfish? That word hit like a slap. I leaned forward. Selfish? I've been carrying this family. Mom snapped. Enough. The room went silent again. But this time, it felt different. Colder. More dangerous. And then Dad said something that changed everything. We used your account. I blinked. What? He looked ashamed. But he didn't stop. The joint savings. The one you opened for emergencies. My chest tightened. That account. It had my name. My money. My savings. Every extra dollar I had. You took my money? I whispered. No one answered. Because they didn't need to. I already knew. I stood up so fast my chair fell back. You stole from me. Emily stood too. It's not stealing. We're family. Family? That word again. But now it sounded ugly, twisted. I grabbed my bag, my keys. I need air. And I walked out. I didn't know where I was going. I just drove. Fast. My mind raced. They took my money. $40,000. Gone. Just like that. But something didn't add up. The account didn't even have that much. So where did the rest come from? That question wouldn't leave me. And that's when I decided I was going to find out the truth, no matter what it cost. That evening, I went back home. Quietly. No one noticed me. Perfect. I walked straight to Dad's old office, the one no one used anymore. Except the light was on. My heart skipped. I pushed the door open. Slowly. And that's when I saw it. Papers. Stacks of them. Bank statements. Loan documents. My name everywhere. My hands started shaking. What did they do? I stepped closer, picked up the top file, and then I saw it. A loan. A massive loan. Signed. Under my name. Without my permission. My breath stopped. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was something else. Something darker. Something illegal. And I had no idea how far it went. That loan had my name on it, but I never signed anything. My fingers went numb. My chest felt tight. How far did they go? I flipped the page. Then another. Then another. Each document felt heavier than the last. Loan amount, $85,000. Interest rate, insane. Signature looked like mine, but it wasn't. It couldn't be. Am I losing my mind? I whispered. No, I wasn't. Someone had forged it, and I already knew who had access. My dad. I grabbed my phone, took pictures. Every page. Proof. Because this wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was fraud, and I was the victim. Suddenly, I heard footsteps. I froze. Hey, what are you doing in here? Emily, of course. I turned slowly, held the paper up. What is this? She looked at it, then at me. No shock, no confusion, just irritation. You weren't supposed to see that, she muttered. My stomach dropped. You knew. I asked. She crossed her arms. Relax. It's temporary. Temporary? Emily, this is a loan in my name. She rolled her eyes again. We needed it. You would have said no. Exactly. That's not your decision. I snapped. Her voice got colder. You owe this family. Oh, that word again. Like I was some bank. I stepped closer. I owe you nothing. For the first time, she hesitated. Just a second. But I saw it. Fear. And then she said something that shattered me. Mom said you'd overreact. Mom? So she knew too. Of course she did. I laughed. Quiet. Broken. All of you knew. I said. No one denied it. Not even later, when I confronted them all. We stood in the living room again. Same place. Different energy. This time, I wasn't the weak one. I dropped the papers on the table. Explain this. Mom looked pale. Dad looked defeated. Emily just stood there, silent. Finally, Dad spoke. We were going to tell you. When? I shot back. After I drowned in debt. He rubbed his face. We had no choice. No choice? You had a choice. I said, you just didn't choose me. Silence. That painful, familiar silence. But this time, I didn't break. Istutayer. Stronger. You committed fraud. I said calmly. Mom gasped. Don't say that. But it's true, I replied. And I have proof. I held up my phone. Pictures. Documents. Everything. Emily stepped forward. You wouldn't report your own family. Wouldn't I? That question hung in the air. Heavy. Dangerous. I looked at her. Really looked. All those years. All that sacrifice. And this was the return. I would, I said quietly, and I meant it, because something inside me had changed. Forever. The next day, I met a lawyer. His name was Daniel Brooks. Calm. Sharp. No nonsense. He read everything carefully, then looked up. This is clear fraud, he said. My heart pounded. What can I do? You can press charges, he replied. And you should. Should. That word felt powerful, terrifying, but right. But they're my family, I whispered. He nodded, and they broke the law. Simple, cold, true. I sat there, thinking, remembering everything. The nights I worked late, the bills I paid, the love I gave, and the betrayal I got. I took a deep breath. I want to move forward, I said, and I did. The process was messy, painful. Police reports, statements, investigations. My family begged me to stop. Mom cried. Dad apologized. Emily got angry. You're ruining us, she yelled. I looked at her calmly. No, I said, you did that. Weeks passed, then months. And finally, the truth came out. The signatures were forged. The loan was illegal. And I was cleared. Completely. The bank reversed the debt. Charges were filed. And my family, they faced consequences. Real ones. I didn't celebrate. Not really. Because winning didn't feel like I expected. It felt quiet, heavy, but also free. I moved out soon after. Got my own place. Small, peaceful, mine. For the first time in years. I could breathe. Chloe helped me decorate. She smiled and said, You finally chose yourself. I looked around, at the space, at my life, and she was right. I did. And then something unexpected happened. A few months later, I bought something big, something they said I'd never afford. My dream home. Not flashy, but perfect. Every corner, mine. Every payment, honest. No lies. No betrayal. Just me, standing in my kitchen. One morning, sunlight pouring in. I realized something. They chose her over me. Again and again. But in the end, ich chose myself. And that made all the difference.